What is going on, guys? Sean Don here with another technical analysis. Here we have SDTC online client Jude Misko breaking his school record in the weight throw. He goes to Rutgers Camden, Division III, just crushing his school record, I think by 70 centimeters in his first meet of the year. And so I wanted to break this down for Jude. Hopefully this is a quick one. Um, so yeah, let's get into it. Yeah, so okay, so breaking it down, like I said, this is Jude's first meet with the weight throw. He hasn't been throwing it much in training, just a little bit, getting a feel for it, but nothing heavy, or nothing very high volume. So, but if you look at the throw, I think there's like an easy meter in there at least, and then some. You know, once you take into account the physical development that that you'll make over the next couple months, dude. Um, so yeah, good sling start and good posture overall, I think. Um, Obviously, it can still be improved, but I think for your first meet with the weight, I think it's pretty damn good. Um, Weight's very loaded over the left side, shifting back over to the right side as the sling comes around. Good. You can see this right leg sort of extending and pressing that weight back on that left side, so that's good. As you come through, so this is where posture starts to break just a little bit, but so I'd say maybe try to have your hips more forward or your shoulders more back over your hips. Ideally, shoulders for or hips forward, so posterior pelvic tilt. I know that's hard with your history of back injuries, but still, like I said, I think overall posture is better than I would have thought. Um, but as the ball comes through zero, there's just a little shift away in that left hip, just a little bit. But overall, you do a good job letting the ball pass. But then you see that right foot right here. Left foot's going, right foot is behind. If anything, this foot should be facing more or less the same angle, or turn to the same angle as this left foot, and this right knee should be pretty much, or this right femur should be pretty much in line with this right arm. Whereas it's getting left behind just a little bit, partly because the shift backwards here. All right, so see, so this is a good angle to check out. Your knee should be more forward over your toe. Your hip should be more forward. Um, you should be using your right glute to kind of propel yourself around, and like I said, chase that ball with the hip with this right femur. Try to turn it in line with the ball. But posture, once again, here, just shoulders a little bit forward, hips need to come more forward, knee needs to go more forward over the toe. Um, and then there's just a little bit of rise in this first turn. So like let's say if your hips are right here where my mouse is, rises up. I mean, it's a really weird angle. Bad example, but you rise up maybe like 3-4 inches, and that creates some hiccups later on in the throw. But like this is good posture right here. Decent posture. Like I said, hips a little bit more forwards, but more or less straight up and down, connected with the ball. Very good. As you come through, level shoulders. See, this is much better than even your hammer throw. Um, Maybe this is just what I've been telling you to work on. Obviously, it's leveling out those shoulders and those hips, and boom, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Much more level, much more easy, controlled. Um, but then I think you get down a little bit late, just a hair. So as this ball comes around, you should be driving that right hip and thinking about stepping towards the sector, whereas this right side, because it is so inactive in the entry, it takes a while to catch up to the ball, so then you end up coming around and catching. I mean, in terms of the ball, it's pretty good, but I think you're definitely leaving uh, some more to be desired in terms of that, like that first single support. Like I said, you rise up a little bit, and then you aren't quite as active as you need to be with that right side. So I think you should be able to get your foot down right about there, if not that frame. I'd say definitely right there at the very least, especially if you get your hips more forwards. Um, then you come down, like I said, it's this decent, solid posture. Hips once again more forward. I'm gonna keep saying that for forever. And then you can see this left side start to clamp down, but you are actually doing a good job turning. You see this right side now, it's finally turning with the ball. So you just need to get that going in your first turn too. And then as you come through, that right side kind of shuts off as the left side takes over. So you were doing a good job from about the first, I don't know, 30, 45 degrees of double support, and then after that, once the ball gets towards zero, your right side kind of shuts off and your left side does the work. So this left leg is straightening, hip's going to go back, and this left shoulder is going to go backwards just a little bit. Yeah, so this is what I'm talking about right here. No right side, all left side. You shift back, and then there's a slight break in posture. And because this left side takes over to keep the tension, this left shoulder is going to pull back. Shoulders are going to go back, and you're going to rise up just a little bit, even more than you did in the first turn. See, that right side is starting to catch up now, but the left side's already so far ahead. And then see, there's even a slight lift. Your hands go up just a little bit rather than naturally down and around the left side. Not even down, just around. You can see there's just a slight upward motion ahead of the ball. Once again, coming through this left leg all the way up through the ground as you produce force, it's going to get transferred to the ball, and I think that's why the ball rises on the left side just a little bit, and you rise up just a little bit. And then because of that, you're up, and what goes up must come down, so you come down, catch, and you come around just a bit. So this is that over rotation that is a result of that left side pulling, left side extension in towards the end of double support. And it just, yeah. Right side, once again, working very well until the ball gets to about zero, and then this left side starts to take over. Yet again, you can see more tension being created with the left side as you are more and more ahead of the ball, but you're doing a good job staying over your left side, so that's good. You just got to wait for that ball to pass more before you drive into the single support, into the next turn. You also, because you are creating tension with this left side and you landed a little late, you sink your hips down to keep tension and to stay grounded. So you sink your hips towards the end of double support, and that is no good because in double support you should be more or less always rising, or not even rising, but you don't want to drop at all in double support. You don't want to rise at all in single support, and that's, like I said, that's the two things that you really, I guess, messed up in this throw, if you even want to call it that. I wouldn't say you did a terrible job. It's just you're working out the kinks. Like you said, nerves, kind of the first meet, getting to you. Totally understand. I do the same thing, so I get it. But then as you come through, like I said, that left side's taking over, hips sink just a bit. Left side, a lot of tension here and through this left arm rather than through this right arm and this right hip. And then because you're sinking, your hips once again are coming down, losing a lot of energy. Actually, it's not bad. When your hips go down in single support, it's not as bad. And it could actually be beneficial if you do it right. But this right leg gets a little wide, catching a little late. Once again, I think that's because the left side pulls and you sink your hips a bit, so you don't have that solid posture and you can't drive that right hip to the high point as well. And then yeah, but overall, I mean, like, this isn't terrible posture. Once again, hips more forward, but weight over the left side, pretty good. Right foot comes down, and then left side clamps down again. I mean, in terms of force delivery, you do a good job getting through it, driving through this left heel up through. This bent knee sort of finish is really good. That's ideal, in my opinion. I think when you stand up, so if your ball's at zero and you're already straight-legged, it's not usually going to end up well. But this bent knee position, as the ball comes through zero, Right side, you can see, is kind of still, I mean, it works through, so the right knee at least works through. This right foot doesn't turn as much, but when it comes down to it, that right side is working. So you just need to get that right side working in every single turn and calming that left side down after that first 30, 45 degrees of double support. Calm that left side down, get that right side working more. And look, you're missing out on another foot, if not foot and a half, 2 feet at the front of the ring. Did you start at the back of the circle? Let's check. Yeah, you started at the back of the circle. So if you're doing 3 turns, Jude, maybe start about a foot shy of the very back of the circle. That's what I do at least. And normally I still end up with another 6, 8 inches at the front of the circle. So play around with that. Just some food for thought. But as we get back through, all right, so right here, as you come through on the finish, finally working that right side better, and nice, solid, loose, relaxed finish. And I think a clap for excitement towards the end of the video. Yeah, he's excited. School record. I would be too. But yeah, so hopefully this helps you out for next week, Jude. And then we'll break 16 meters then and bump you up the qualifying list. And then as we go forwards through indoors, I think 17 and even 18 meters could be on the horizon. I don't know. Like I said, I think there's definitely a lot more in this throw, which is good, especially very good for a season opener. Get the nerves out. One other note, it's very hard to see, and I have to play at full speed because I think it's very subtle. Your shoulders are a little bit back away from the ball in the first single support as the ball goes through. Yeah, so like I said, so this posture is good, but there's also just a slight backwards motion that happens with your shoulders. So right at this point right here, you need to be thinking about using your abs. And like I said, abs pull you forward, ball pulls you forward, right hip drives towards ball. You can get that feeling, and I know I'm describing a feeling that you probably might not even know what it feels like, but if you can feel the ball pull you forward in this first turn instead of you pulling back and pulling your shoulders back towards the camera a little bit, you'll just have that much better direction, and you'll feel the tension and the pendulum, and you'll be able to work your right side that much better. This little pullback kind of almost disconnects you from the ball, and that's what kind of causes that right side to take, or left side to take over. So, yeah, very subtle stuff. Don't lift your hands in the second turn, or going into the second turn, sorry, and then don't sink your hips at the end of the second turn. Yeah. Alright, so that's it. Thanks for watching, Sean Don. Peace and out. If you want a technical analysis of your own, go to www.seandonley.biz on the services page, in-depth or Instagram technical analysis. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Go congratulate Jude in the comments down below for breaking the school record, even though he's going to do it again next week, and then again in January and February. So, alright. Sean Don, peace and out until next time.